Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Something strange is going on in the Premier League, but something stranger is going on at Arsenal. Arsenal are spending 300 million after one bad season, and that bad season we finished second to Liverpool, and we didn't struggle like Manchester United, Tottenham, or Manchester City. We didn't struggle like that. And we are spending 300 million to actually rectify what went wrong in the 23-24 campaign. Believe me, Arsenal are becoming some juggernaut of a team. In this video, what I want us to do is dive into what Arsenal have done so far and what should be the expectation of this Arsenal team. Now, I won't lie. Before we spent all this money, I was a little bit concerned with Arsenal, especially in the early days of the window where Liverpool was spending a lot of money. Florian Wirtz, Milos Kerkez, Jeremy Frimpong, and Man City as well. They had already spent about 100 million in January with the likes of Nico Gonzalez coming in, Omar Mamouche, Kusanov, and then earlier on in the window, they go and do a Nori, they go and do another deal, a couple of other deals, Tijani Reinders as well, and Ryan Sharkey. And I'm like, okay, Arsenal are lagging behind. We've had a bad season, and these guys are strengthening, and we're sitting just there. But Arsenal have blown my mind. They've gone and spent 200 million and more so far, and they're still looking to bring in Rodrigo Eze or Xavi Simons, which could take a spending to 300 million. Something strange is going on, honestly, and I love this strange. Let it not stop, right? Strange is a little bit creepy at times, but this strange, I kind of like. Now, let's discuss what Arsenal's expectations should be after spending about 300 million in this summer, and also after finishing second for 3 consecutive seasons. What should be our expectation in the 25-26 campaign? What should Arsenal really expect? What is going to be the bar that we're going to judge this team at, the bar that our rivals are going to judge us at, and the bar that we judge Mikel Arteta at? Because it's done well in terms of building the foundation, but you don't spend 300 million euros in one summer and you're polishing the foundation. You're actually trying to win. Now, these are the players we've signed so far. We all know them. Gyökeres coming in for £55 million. Zubimendi, £50 million. Madueke, £50 million. Norgard, £15 million. Kepa, £5 million. Christian Mosquera, 18 million euros. That's about 13 million pounds. And we are looking to do Rodrigo at 77 million pounds and Eberechi Eze at 60 million pounds. So when you put all that together, it's crazy. But if you put all that together, you're approaching the incredible 300 million pound mark that Arsenal could do. And even if Arsenal don't sign any other player, it is already incredible. It's already massive what we've done. Like 200 million is already spent. We have spent 150 million on Zubimendi, Gyökeres, and Madueke alone, right? And we have spent about 38 million on Norgard, Kepa, and Mosquera. It's already impressive. It's already impressive. So, what are the expectations that we should be setting for this Arsenal team? For me, number one, I think when I was writing the script, I said, we need to score more goals. But the real answer and the real point here is that we need to solve some of the problems that really affected us next campaign. If we want to get over the line, if we want to be the team that we want to be, we've got to solve some of the problems that have, plagued this team the last campaign and maybe longer than that as well. And let's start off with goals, right? The arrival of Victor Gyökeres and potentially Eze is so satisfying to that problem. And any Arsenal fan out there will tell you, if Arsenal don't sign a centre forward this summer, or if Arsenal hadn't signed a centre forward this summer, for me, the summer would be dead. And they would be right. Because Arsenal's biggest problem last season was actually scoring goals. Impressive, but it is. We conceded 39 goals in 38 games. That means that Arsenal were conceding on average just 1 goal a game. That team that concedes just 1 goal a game should be able to win the league. Like, you should be able to win the league. But the problem with Arsenal last season was we led games, right, a lot of the time, and we dropped points. So let me give you a very interesting statistic that is going to blow your mind away. It won't blow your mind away, but it is depressing. Arsenal collected 30, Arsenal-led games, totaling to 30 points, and we lost them, and we dropped them. Last season, Arsenal lost 30 points from winning position. It's unbelievable, but it's true. We led games a lot of the time, and I know many of you reached a point where Arsenal are ahead and equalizer is coming. So if you're that team, you have got two problems. One, you either have a very bad defense, of which Arsenal didn't have a bad defense. Like we have just established just in the Premier League, Arsenal conceded only 39 goals in 39 games. So the other problem means you don't have enough firepower to score 2 goals and above. If Arsenal were averaging 2.5 goals per 90 last campaign, Arsenal would be champions, honestly. Because you add 30 points to what we have right now. Well, I think we finished with 81. I think 81 or 82, somewhere around there. Add 30 points to that, and you are champions, and you beat Liverpool. So this coming season, we expect Mikel Arteta to utilize the availability of players, like if he gets Rodrigo, if he has Gyökeres, we expect more goals. This team should be able to take their chances. Because I'm one of those people that are very consistent when it comes to my match reactions, that they become boring a little bit. Because I always say, take your chances, right? Because Arsenal always create chances. Take your chances. As simple as that. At times, it is as simple as that. And it is so frustrating to have a team that is so good at creating chances and they kind of never take them. It is very, very frustrating. So that's the first thing you expect of this Arsenal team next season. An increase in goals. And surprise, surprise, goals win games. Surprise, surprise. We didn't know this. It's new research. It was released today by the New York Times. Goals win games. It's new research. So what I'm trying to say, being sarcastic a little bit there, right? But what I'm trying to say is this Arsenal team needs to bury games. We need to bury games. And goals bury games, right? So Mikel Arteta's tactics of we are going to sit back and we're going to maintain and control, that can be done. But you have Pochettino and you have Partey, and you've not been able to maintain and control leads. Which means, look the other way. Look at something more positive, like, winning games with more goals than sitting back and trying to make sure that the other opponent doesn't score. So that is something, number one, that we've got to work. We've got to work on. Number two, the expectation that we are gonna have is of a bigger squad, and that actually increases squad depth. Now, squad depth really affected us last campaign. I cannot tell it all, but I think you know what happened, right? Saka gets injured. Oh, God. Odegaard gets injured. Oh, God. And then you have Saliba getting injured and Gabi getting injured. And you're like, oh, God. And then Kai Havertz gets injured. And you're like, we're done. We're done, right? So what Arsenal have done so far under Andre Bata is realize that you look at the competitiveness of the competitions that we are in. The FA Cup is so important these days. Why? Because the Premier League has got an elite top 3 that is going to win it. Liverpool, Arsenal, or Man City. So if you're Tottenham, if you're Crystal Palace, if you're Villa, if you're Manchester United, all you've got to do is win the FA Cup. And what makes it more competitive, again, is that anyone who doesn't win the Premier League, let's say Liverpool win the Premier League, City and Arsenal want to focus on the FA Cup. And so is the Carabao Cup. And the Champions League has a new format where we're playing more games and very competitive games. You're not playing your ordinary Brøndby and which other teams? Crvena Zvezda, Sheriff Tiraspol. You're no longer playing those games, those teams. You're playing PSG, Inter Milan, and Atalanta in the initial stages of the Champions League. Bloody hell, competitive games. And you're gonna need squad depth because these games drain your squad. They drain your squad. Injuries are gonna come, right? No question about that, because these games are very competitive. They drain your team mentally, emotionally, physically. You're gonna suffer burnout. You need a bigger squad. And look at that. Look at this. Arsenal just done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with Kepa involved, 6 signings. Right? So next season, we expect to see an Arsenal team that, maneuvers through injuries better. We expect to see the manager have options, flexibility in certain game states. Let's say we are playing Sheriff Tiraspol, and they put up one of the world's best low blocks. What do? As it comes on, Rice comes off, because Rice doesn't beat a low block for you, right? And let's say you're playing an open game, and Rice abilities will be utilized. Rice comes on, as it comes off maybe, or maybe someone like Odegaard comes off, right? So that is what squad depth means, and that is what we expect to see from Arsenal. Like, you're gonna have a bigger squad, you're gonna do better in cup competitions, because with a bigger squad, if you think about Arsenal's second 11 right now, it could win the Carabao Cup if Liverpool and City played their second 11s as well, right? Because you have Kepa in goal, Mosquera at centre back with Kivio, Calafiori at left back with Ben White, Christian Nogard in midfield alongside Ithawanyeri and maybe Eze or Merino. Kai Havertz up top as a striker, Madueke on either right or left, and then Trossard. That is a very good team. It could win you the Carabao Cup. It could take you some distance in the FA Cup. So we expect Mikel Arteta to do better. You can rest your players for the Champions League, but play FA Cup on a Sunday and win that game very comfortably, because you've got a very good squad. So that is, for me, my second expectation. And Mikel Arteta is not going to have... I don't want to hear excuses of the ball was not going into the net when Newcastle have scored 4 with the same ball. Like, the ball was flying a lot. What Mikel Arteta was trying to say, we don't have enough options for this squad to rest enough and refresh. And then for me, number 3 is creativity. And where creativity comes in from is mid blocks, low blocks, and transitions, right? I think we need to see better breakdown of opponents. And Mikel Arteta has gone to the market and it's got players that actually just do that, right? If you get Eze and Rodrigo and Gyökeres, you have solved the mid-block problem. Gyökeres is fast and loves space in behind. Eze will find a runner in spaces in behind. Does that for Crystal Palace all the time. And Rodrigo loves spaces in behind, okay? So you've just solved the mid-block problem. And you'll find yourself killing off games, Villa, Newcastle, Fulham, those teams that say, when Arsenal come, we shall play mid-block and we shall win. And they've been winning. But now, with this new squad, we've got a tool or tools to actually beat a mid-block. And then when it comes to a low block, which has been a bigger problem as well, again, Eze comes in. Again, maybe Rodrigo comes in. Maybe Madueke comes in, right? With his ability to, keep the pitch as wide as possible, and then we create channels to run into for players like Kai Havertz and Declan Rice. And then when it comes to transitions as well, this is a massive part that should improve. I don't know whether Mikel Arteta is a fan of transitions or he deems them too risky. If the manager deems them too risky, then I won't be surprised for us to go, no, we are not doing that. We're not doing that, right? But if the manager is open-minded, he will say, I love to control every aspect of the game, which is okay, but I also want to see runs in behind. I also want us to switch it up, pick up the ball, in defensive areas and just switch it up. So you're going to see more of Arsenal breaking down mid-blocks and low-blocks and finding a solution with quick transitions and attacking through the middle. So creativity is going to be a little bit high as well in this team. And then, entertainment. I don't know what I want to see though. Like, when I watched Inter Milan Barcelona, I was entertained, wasn't I? And you're entertained, weren't you? You are entertained as well. And that's what I want to say here. Can we see just better flow of football? Can we just see better football from this Arsenal day? I don't want to buy popcorn to watch Arsenal, right? I want to have a glass of maybe soda, maybe whiskey, maybe wine, and I'm watching Arsenal, and I just go into this flow state where I forget about the wine. For example, when I'm recording, I have a bottle of water there, but I rarely touch it because I'm so engaged, right? I want that engagement to kind of come back. Simple as that. And finally, trophies. Trophies. I don't know. I'm gonna say two: the FA Cup and the English Premier League. We should be able to do that. We should be able to do that. The Champions League. I would like to win the Champions League, but the juggernauts in there. So this squad maybe needs another year to, just understand each other, work with each other. Maybe, we eventually do it. But in terms of winning trophies, it's a big, big expectation on Mikel Arteta's squad. So let me know what you think about the transfer we've done so far, and what that translates into in terms of expectations for the whole team. I'll speak to you right in the next one.